It's Dave Wagner, Wagner Baseball Glove Repair, and today an after video on yet another awesome Bradley glove. We have here an 11 1/4 inch iWeb. This was sent to me to break in. So just because you buy a smaller glove doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to have an opportunity to break it in. Or here's the funny thing, and I talked to Jeff about this. One of the awesome things about making gloves specifically for children is that when they're broken in, they're awesome for kids, but the tricky part is this. Who usually breaks in high-end gloves for little kids? Their dads. If your dad can't get his hand in the thing, it's pretty tricky. So bear that in mind. I'll show you a suggested remedy to that I shared with Jeff that could really make that problem disappear. So anyway, so what we have here is a very high-end kip glove with some deer skin over a section of the palm in here. And it's kind of nice because it's only in this section. Why in the world would you need it where your thumb was? I don't know. It's just extra weight, right? So the deer skin's in the middle. Nice. It feels very, very good. So compare this straight with Pro Preferred. For feel, identical. That's what it feels like. This is kip. Compare with Pro Preferred for feel, identical. Inside, what's inside? Well, and you'll notice it is a little bit dingy here. That was kind of because I had to use, I pounded it a little bit, and there's always a tiny bits of residue on my hand, just oil and stuff that get on a glove. I didn't actually oil the thing, but same thing when you pound it a little bit, and I probably 10 hits with a mallet, but so sometimes you'll get some grit on there. That's kind of what's going to happen with this very, very, very light cream, but whatever. One game of catch, you're going to have this much anyhow. But I'm just explaining why it happened, okay? So all the lace came out. Tanner's Heart of the Hide 100-pound pull weight lace goes back in there. The lace originally used, where is it? Kind of that two-tone, which I think kind of looks cool, but truth be told, I don't think that lace is very good. The two-tone is, meh. I used to use only Wilson two-tone like that, and I just was blown away how much better Tanner's was. So I used Tanner's. I'm not ripping on Jeff. I'm just saying that was chosen for looks. That's all it was. So I went with the standard black because I can get a little more durability out of it. Anyhow, so Tanner's Heart of the Hide 100-pound pull weight lace goes in. What happened inside? Well, felt in this glove. Here's one thing I also mentioned to Jeff. Felt in this glove, this shell, very close to a Pro Preferred in quality. Inside, same. Felt a little bit lower. It's all synthetic, okay? So no wool felt in here. I know the same thing with Dan Davis's Gloveworks gloves. Synthetic felts. Wool felts cost a little more durable, much easier to get palm adhesive out of. With synthetics, because the synthetic felt stretches a lot, you're trying to scrape it out of there, it's brutal, and it's just really annoying. But so it's synthetic felt, which means it will be a little bit lighter. It will not be as thick or as necessarily resilient. For a child's glove, not a terrible choice. Why? You don't need a really thick piece of felt. You want light performance, right? So other things I like, shortened finger liners, okay? Here's what I mean. Most finger liners, and I don't have another glove to show you, are going to send their finger liners all the way up to here. Well, I'm telling you right now, that's extra weight added to the end of your glove. So not only is the extra weight overall, but it's extra weight farther from your wrist, so it's going to move what? It's going to move the center of balance farther up your hand. You want the center of balance as close to about right here as you can get it. So extra weight out here makes the glove feel heavier. Extra weight in here actually tends to stabilize the glove, but I like no weight anywhere. But so I like the shortened finger design. Good idea. Yes, it's less expensive, no problem with that, because the leather that was used is very good. So use nice leather for the finger liners or the stalls, right? But don't run it all the way up here. It's a waste of time. Bradley, nice job, very good on that one. I have tiny little hands. Finger stall tightness, nice. Little hands, I find these quite comfortable, and I have a little bit of room to move, which means that if your son or daughter has tiny hands smaller than this, which they probably do, this glove is not going to feel enormous inside, okay? Fits very well. Triple X down at the bottom. This was kind of an interesting style point lace thing here. No real appreciable improvement. It looks kind of cool. I did, for those who care about these things, I did skip this on purpose, because if you were to lace through this set of holes, you would create a bulge up in here, and you would invariably get a rub mark. So I didn't do that in hopes this will just stay flat. It's not going to make the web less strong. It's meaningless. It's kind of like an extra phrase in a sentence. It doesn't have to be there. Drop down knuckle loop, cinch tight loop up top. Inside palm adhesive was out. I told you it was a pain to get out of the synthetic felt, but it's out. Separated the deerskin layer off of the kip layer. I had to build a tool to do that, which I can't find right now, but it works. And what that does is when you take layers and you separate them slightly, just so they can float, glove becomes more supple, more movable, but you don't lose padding. In fact, the padding works more effectively. It's when everything's smashed together that the ball just clings around, okay? And that's no good. So no palm adhesive, and then glue released, so the glove actually, if a ball hits it, it'll stick. But if you can hear something, okay, that's just my fist. That is a nice pocket sound, and not every glove has that. That usually indicates that dimensions are very good, and the tolerances between the pieces, one layer to the next, are really good. They're really tight. That's where you get that pop noise from. So, other than that, now here was the thing where I suggested to Jeff, and a lot of you guys are modders just like me, and this is a very simple modification that I just started using on certain gloves, and I learned it from Wilson. Okay, so I don't invent things for the most part. I mostly just observe something on a glove and try it on a different one, or maybe modify it a little bit. Okay, so on some of you've known, if you watched a lot of these videos, I've been ragging on Wilson's A2000 Women's Fast Pitch Series because of its terrible wrist strap assembly. It's awful. Well, Rawlings, Worth, Mikan, it's all the same thing, had a nice two-strap idea where you pull one side and pull the other. Well, Aso-san over at Wilson said, I got you. And what he did was added one pair of holes right here. And instead of lacing this with the knot over here and the cross moving over the binding, the lace is out here. Now here's basically what happens. I can't pull this totally apart, and it's all black on black, and I'm sorry about that. But if you can see, I'll put my finger behind it. Can you see those laces are loose, right? So normally on a glove, you'd have these locked tight. Here's the problem. If you do that, adult, dad, bigger hand, can't get his hand in the glove. Here's how I'll show you. I'm going to pull this all the way tight. This is as tight as it gets. I'm going to try and put my hand in. That's it. I don't have big hands. That's why Bradley gloves do really well when they're sent to me to break in, because I take care of all that stuff. And if you have one, just add those yourself. What happens? Look, you can pull this out again, right? It'll take take a second. Hold on. So now this floats, right? Now big hand, dad, brother, whatever, mom, whatever, can get into the glove, right? And they can use it, and it works, right? So this modification, I was suggesting Jeff introduce this to his product line, just for the simple fact that it will allow parents to help with the break into their kids' gloves, because I know that Jeff told me that he would have been using this glove as it was from the factory in 2 days. Well, I understand that, but that's, you know, Jeff is a man, big strong guy, and a lot of these kids are 8 and 9. So this modification would help with meeting that particular problem, or addressing it. And then as soon as you want to tighten it, all you do is you pull the excess out and retie the knot. So the child wears it at the correct setting for them, but the glove moves. So the reason this glove moves better now than before, no palm adhesive, right? Okay, good layers are separated, right? You can get a larger hand in there, and you can see I'm going 2 over, right? This glove with this grip and that modding I did, I'm telling you right now, this is virtually identical in feeling to the Marucci 11 1/4 iWeb. They have long, strange model numbers like MFG or MFG, HTG, blah, 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 1125X or something. This glove feels like that glove. I work on them, I know. I would game this glove or an 11.5. So if you're an adult with a slightly smaller hand, this simple addition right here would allow you to play one of these gloves very easily. So if you've been saying, well, Bradley only makes gloves for kids, it'll never work, not quite so fast. Obviously, I make my living by modifying and improving other designs, okay? Whatever. And if you're on the network, you're somebody who does the same thing, okay? But this modification can be used with any glove in the world where you can't quite get the custom fit on the wrist strap. You can add this. Worst comes to worst, you tie it tight, no one knows. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make the glove look ugly. It's simple. This is how Oslo-san decided to change the Wilson wrist strap for catcher or softball mitts. Really effective. But here it is introduced on a new glove. It works. So, as far as you, if you're an adult and you're looking for a solid mitt or glove for yourself, this product line, and I don't know the product lines because not all was stamped on here. This says change the game. Maybe it's change the game series. This is an incredibly high quality glove, very good manufacturing tolerances, and with basically the work I did, this is an adult playable glove. So forget just buying this for an 8-year-old. An adult can use this. High school, it doesn't matter. So smaller handed guys or just normal handed guys, with a few edits, you can basically use a Bradley as your game glove, not just your kids. And it's a quality glove. So yes, I'm grateful to Jeff for what he's doing, and hopefully this video inspires other guys that are building gloves to try different modifications. This can really help make your gloves more comfortable. It's going to be very cheap to implement into a design. Okay, but thanks so much, Jeff. And Jeff, I just heard that all your gloves were found. So, Lord, we thank you for that. That's a big deal. There have been some really sad kids at Christmas, and that's what I was thinking about. I know Jeff was too. So, anyway, there it is, a Bradley 11¼ inch, kind of Wagnered out. So a lot of Wagner mods on this thing. It is legit. This little kid's gonna be a happy kid using it right away, but hopefully for a long time. So thanks so much for watching. This is Dave Wagner, Wagner Baseball Glove Repair. You can like, follow, share, subscribe anytime. And because the Lord loves you, you can make it a lovely day.